Hi, you're watching us at livemint.com, and I have the privilege to be joined by Mr. Shailesh Chandra. He leads the passenger vehicle and electric vehicle business at Tata Motors. And what a day, Shailesh. You've given the country its first sub 10 lakh EV, also its first electric hatchback. And no wonder it's come from the Tata Motors brand, right? With the Nexon EV, you're already market leaders by far in the electric vehicle segment. So tell us, what made you think of a more affordable car at this price point? When typically the strategy we have seen OEMs follow is more top-down. So how have you thought about it, and what sort of, do you think it could be a bigger force than Nexon has been for you?
So we would not have very much deviated from the other strategy. We have also come top-down. We started with the Nexon, then we launched the Tigor, and then we have launched the Tiago. And there's a reason behind it, because as you are building scale, where you have more leeway to earn margins and price the car higher, you then use those commonality to drive in lower segment cars, where you can then take the benefit of a larger scale which is coming from Ziptron. Now Ziptron has a good base. If I had started with Tiago, it would have the pressure of doing that job. So Nexon and Tigor has done that job and therefore optimized the cost of Ziptron, technology and components. Tiago in general is a very successful car, so it also gets the benefit of economies of scale coming from the ICE world, because we are selling in nearly 7,000-8,000 of ICE, so therefore it is getting that advantage. In these last 2-3 years, we have also worked on localization,
right,
which has also helped us bring down the cost. So this was therefore the right time to bring a hatch after having achieved the cost efficiencies, and therefore position a product which will help you get a bigger customer base, and future products that you are going to come with, this is the customer base which will upgrade also.
Correct.
So it was important to, if we have to drive mass adoption in the country, you needed a product with a compelling value proposition like Tiago EV, what we have come with.
And interestingly, out of the first 10,000 cars you'll sell at your introductory price, you've reserved 2,000 for your existing EV customers, which means that there is a lot of appetite with existing customers for more EVs. And like you said, you hope that they will sort of stay with the brand, upgrade, and in this case, even get an additional car from a different or a lower segment. Tell us what your observations have been there.
Simple, the idea actually came when after we announced on 9th September about our intention to launch Tiago EV. Some of our existing customers wrote to us that I am going to buy a second EV, so I want to convert my existing ICE second car also to EV. That actually gave us the idea that these are already converted customers. All the myths and misconceptions about EV, they have already crossed the hump, and therefore they have typically 2-3 cars. All the EV buyers, Nexon and those people who are buying 15 lakh plus cars, they typically have 2-3 cars. Why they would not replace? And the requests started pouring in, so we thought that we have to acknowledge the role that the early pioneers or early adopters have played, and have shown the faith in the brand, and have been talking very positively about their experiences, which has also helped break a lot of myths in the electric vehicle potential prospective customers. So this was, in a way, kind of a good gesture that we gave of also reserving this 2,000 for their immediate relatives.
Right. Shailesh, the other thing is that, you're launching a car in the hatchback segment after all, and we've been talking about how the segment, and we've seen in the numbers that the segment has not really grown at all, while it's the SUV segment, and your own launches in the SUV segment have done phenomenally well. So what sort of gives you confidence that this product will see good offtake despite being in a segment that's not really growing?
The pressure that you are facing in the entry segment is coming from two directions. One is the regulation, and the second is because of the rising running costs, because of petrol prices and all increasing, and that is to a great extent impacting that. Actually, this is just going the opposite route. Tiago EV, because of electricity prices being stable, the advantage is actually increasing more. And today we showed a calculation that even somebody is doing standard 1,000-kilometer drive a month is saving 6,500 rupees per month, which translates to nearly 75,000-80,000 a year. This car comes at a premium of what, 1.5 lakh or so. Today, Tiago AMT sells in between 8 to 9.5 lakh.
Sure.
We have launched pretty much overlapping, slightly more if you take the the registration charges and the insurance and all. It will go slightly higher, but still 10-15% premium to that. So it has come at the right time actually, where the emotions are high on increasing running cost. This just comes at the right time, I would say.
Absolutely. So, in fact, this is the car perhaps that will actually revive sentiment around the segment as a whole. Speaking of that, with the Nexon EV, you have a penetration within that model line of 25% or thereabouts. Do you think this is a model that can do that and surpass that number?
I believe that it should be able to do more, is my hypothesis, estimate, whatever you call it, for simple reason that this is a very compelling proposition. It also is in a situation, unlike Nexon, where there is a better awareness of charging at home. Generally, charging infra is growing. There is greater confidence among customers that this problem will be over. And we are expanding into nearly double the cities where we are present today. So all these factors should take the penetration to slightly higher level. I am estimating maybe 30-35%.
How soon can this happen?
Should happen, I would say, immediately. From a demand perspective, it should happen immediately. I'll have to run fast on the production side.
Absolutely.
What I'll have to do. That is a easier problem to solve.
Okay, fair enough. Then, Shailesh, in the entry-level segment or in the hatchback segment, these typically perhaps won't be customers. I mean, one set of your customers is the one who's getting this as an additional car. But for first-time buyers, and if that is a segment that you're targeting, there must be concerns about charging infrastructure too. And it can be expected that a lot of these customers won't have dedicated parking spots. You are working with installing common chargers at RWAs. And we are at 1% sort of penetration for EVs at large. So perhaps it's not a very visible problem to us at the moment. But as that becomes 4-5% and, eventually 14-15 that you said could be natural demand, do you think it will become a greater problem that you'll need to address?
See, if we go with the business as usual approach that for every customer we are putting one charger, then the problem will aggravate as we see the penetration growing. And that is the very reason that we initiated this action with the help of Tata Power to put common chargers in the societies. I think, already government has also given mandate, MOUD, that at least new apartments which are being built will come with 20%. So I think the apartments will, first the new ones will start with more electric charging ready parking lots. With the initiative that we are taking and more residents kind of also pressurizing their societies to put chargers so that they can buy electric vehicle. It has happened in my society, so I know that what pressure the societies are also facing. I think these things will go a long way in resolving the problem that you are saying. And as you see in Scandinavian countries, chargers are everywhere and you can charge it. Even with a 7.2 kilowatt charger, AC charger can go to 11 kilowatt also. Even you need not have very fast chargers. You can do with slightly enhanced chargers which are semi-fast or whatever you call it. A decent penetration, I would say, of charging infra. So I think slowly the problem will get solved with more awareness coming in and more and more societies also being open. Today you face resistance at times.
Right.
This will get overcome.
So, to your mind, what's the initial plan with respect to setting up these chargers? Do you have a number in mind as you're sort of, preparing to deliver the cars from January? What sort of infrastructure do you think you'll be able to put up by then?
No, so see, first that many customers will come, hopefully those 2,000 customers, they already have a charger, right? So they need not have an additional charger also. Today, we are offering two things. If you don't have a parking lot in your home, we'll offer it in your office if your office allows us, which will open more cases for others also. And companies are forthcoming because they also want to be seen, more ESG supportive and all. So I think that approach we'll keep, and as I said that we'll start, ramping up in other cities also, this common charger initiative, and progressively this should keep on improving.
That's all, Shailesh. Thank you so much and congrats once again.